What you're seeing in front of you is a demo of the Microsoft HoloLens 2. The student is wearing these augmented reality glasses to perform a walkthrough in our unit operations lab. She's viewing through the glasses a holographic step-by-step procedure that allows her to operate the unit. So she just turned on the fan and is now identifying several major pieces of equipment, including the orifice meter and the throttle valve to control the flow rate in the fluidized bed. She's seeing holograms that we are not, and that is what she's interacting with in the video. In this step-by-step procedure, you can see the view from the student's eyes. She has these holograms that pop up and are asking her to complete steps in identifying several pieces of equipment. When she identifies it, she physically clicks it, and the procedure moves to the next step automatically. She cannot move to the next step until she's successfully selected the object being referred to there. And you can see here there's a holographic arrow on the top of the column, so this actually allows us to point out pieces of equipment and add holograms to the user's view. We can also add graphics. Here is an image that is demonstrating some of the theory of how the fluidized bed works and pressure drop across the bed. And then we can make it interactive by asking them to identify the region on the column where the pressure drop is occurring. In this case, it's as a multiple choice item, but it could have also been a button on the column itself. The user can select it by physically clicking with their finger or looking at the correct answer. Here we're asking them to read a value on a manometer, which is also on the physical system, and this is something they'll be doing while the system is running regularly. Okay, let's go ahead and make a quick change to our fluid flow circuit lab. I want to come in over here to Microsoft Guides and add a new step. And the new step is going to have the user actually identify a ball valve. And the way I want the user to do that is to come over here, and I don't want to put an image of what a ball valve looks like, and I don't want to put a graphic of pointing directly at it, because that would be too easy. Instead, what I want to do is I want to put an invisible button and make that invisible button such that if they get it correct, it will navigate to the next step, which is identify the circuit pipes. But I also want to have a step that is, if they get it wrong. So for this, I'll create a new step, a new answer, which is incorrect. Please view the video to the left for more information. And I'll come into my library where I've already imported some videos, and I should have one for the valves. Yes. So I'll drop that into the media panel, and I'll create a response that is try again. And if they click the try again button, that will send them backwards to the identify a ball valve position. So at this point, everything is just about set. I just need to come in here and add the incorrect response. So I'll add another invisible button, and this invisible button will be linked to the incorrect response. So navigate to the incorrect response. So the next step will be to go into the physical space and place these around for the user to interact with. So we've now entered into the authoring mode for the HoloLens. So the first thing it'll have us do is actually define an anchor point, which is pre-pasted onto the wall. And you can see it's somewhat misaligned here from the default location, so we'll go ahead and rescan. We do that by verbally saying the words rescan or clicking the button on the screen. So we then align it, so now it knows where home is, and we can continue with the rest of the guide as soon as we confirm. And now we're in the programming mode of the guides. And we'll navigate to the one that we just programmed about the ball valve. And you'll see there are these shapes that we can insert, and these are the 3D parts that we had defined previously as those boxes, those triggers. So we're going to go ahead and select those triggers and place them all around the physical space. And you can see we can resize them smaller or larger, and we're dropping them in and placing them around the different valves. Now there are a number of valves on this apparatus. Some are correct, some are incorrect. So what we're doing is putting all the boxes in the incorrect locations, so that way if somebody clicks that trigger, it'll direct them to a screen saying incorrect and please try again. And for the correct ball valves, that will send them to a congratulations screen. I should note that not all of these are aligned perfectly, and that's because the HoloLens records in mono, meaning it only uses one of the cameras as opposed to the two or the stereo, but in real life, in person, it aligns perfectly. Okay, so what you're seeing now is a demo of what this looks like for the actual operator. And the operator is going around trying to select the correct valves. They don't know which one it is, so they keep clicking, and they keep getting it wrong, so they try again in hopes of eventually getting it. And you can see a little blue square, a little rectangle shows up right as they're clicking it, so they know what they just hit. Now they got it wrong a number of times, so at this point they're going to the video on the left.
I'd also like to tell you a little bit now. We have an assortment of cutaway valves over here in the shop that when you have a chance you can come down, make arrangements with us to come down and have a look at them. They're cut away so you can see inside how they actually work, and we'll show you those now.
So the operator just saw a ball valve and now knows the answer. So we'll go ahead and try again and identify one of the ball valves on the system. There it is with the yellow handles. They reach over and click the ball valve, which then selects it and moves on to the next step.